What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dialed Podcast. I'm your host, Nick McElhenney. I've got my co-host here, Anthony Beretta.
Going on, fam?
What's going on? The man, the myth, the legend, bro. So this is actually episode 6 of Dialed. It's crazy how we're already on episode 6, but today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. It's the last week of June, which is known as Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we just kind of want to jump on here for this episode and kind of take a second to bring awareness to men's mental health, kind of talk about our own journeys, ways to combat depression, anxiety, healthy habits, and how the gym also tying the gym, because this is a fitness podcast, tying the gym into everything and how that helped improve our lives overall. But you want to take it away, man? You want to start with segment 1. We'll talk about what depression actually looks like in men.
Yeah. So, to be completely honest with you guys, mental health is just as important as physical health, right? Without that, it's essentially you're just running in circles, and it's like you have to take care of yourself first mentally before you get into anything else, right? So, like, specifically for a lot of people here, I know that there's a lot of bodybuilders who listen to this podcast. It's like if your mental isn't right, then you shouldn't be getting into a bodybuilding show, because I'm not going to lie to you, it's just going to get worse from there, right? Society often teaches us as men to suppress these emotions instead of processing them. And to be completely frank with you guys, it's like strength isn't pretending that you're okay. It's addressing the problems before they grow into bigger ones. So addressing them before you get into something like bodybuilding prep, because once the food starts to go away and the cardio starts to go up, it's like it's only going to exacerbate, get worse from there, and it's going to start to spiral. And some ways that you can actually see this kind of depression in men is it's often going to come across as you're either going to get super quiet or super agitated. I mean, there's two different sides of the spectrum, right? For me, for an example, it's like, I would just get super quiet. And the way that I fought off my depression was just being completely soaked into video games. Like, video games was at the time, it was the biggest outlet that I had, because it was essentially like I was downloading my brain and putting it into a different world. And for me, like, I recognized how unhealthy that was, but that took me years. It took me years and years of just like realizing, like, hey, I probably shouldn't be living someone else's life and start living my own life. And that's when I found the gym. That's when I found, I should be doing more sports and hanging out with friends and family. So, there's different ways that depression and anxiety can come across to different people. But for me, it was just like, honestly, like not even being present in the moment. It was just being soaked into something completely different. So, Nick, I don't know if you also had anything else that you wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, I like that, bro. I like that obviously it's not the most healthy outlet in the world, playing video games, but it is an outlet. And I think it's very important, as men, for us to just be able to have an outlet, something that we can go to, something that we can rely on when things get tough, because I think that things get tough for anybody and everybody, right? I think that guys are a little bit better at hiding it than most people. And I don't know if that's necessarily really a good thing, but I mean, I kind of have a pretty similar story to you. We talked on the first episode how we both kind of had pretty rough upbringing. I mean, for me, middle school, high school, just school in general was really hard. Always getting picked on, always getting made fun of, always have people kind of look down on me. Those were some pretty hard times in my life, and especially when, dude, relationships and women got involved. That made things a lot harder on my mental health. And I did go to video games as an outlet, but I also did something that I don't feel like a lot of people do, as far as my outlet goes. And it's a little sappy. I might have some people make fun of me, but I used to write music a lot. I picked up a I remember I picked up an old piano, like a little keyboard, and it was like one of my little brothers got it and never touched it. There's literally dust on it. And I just started playing some keys, and I was like, wow, that sounds cool. And then I'd hear songs on the radio, and I'd be like, I wonder if I can figure out how to play that on the piano. And I inevitably went down a rabbit hole on YouTube. And so anytime I found a song that I thought would be worth playing on the piano, I would go and watch a YouTube video on how to play it and essentially just learn that. And the piano led to the ukulele led to guitar, and then guitar led to me writing my own music. And that in itself was my outlet. And I feel like as men too, I think that just like writing things down and even journaling, you can kind of we kind of bring that to the conversation. But I think that that really helped me through a dark time, just being able to have an outlet where not necessarily write all the time, but just finding music that I related to in those hard times, in those dark times, and being able just to have an outlet to channel it and let it out. It just really helped me, and hopefully somebody that's listening to this.
Mhm. No, I think that's good, man. I mean, like having an outlet, but also like video games is yes, definitely an outlet, but don't let
Did
it
play
be
video games.
your crutch, right?
Yes.
Don't let it like be your entire identity. And the same thing honestly goes for the gym too, because the gym is an outlet, but also at the same time, you don't want to make it your whole identity because you are much more than that. Like personally, seeing you, Nick, it's like I know you're much more than just, a men's physique competitor, right? Like I know you're the ins and outs of you of like at least you have so much more to yourself, right? And that's essentially what you want to do as a man is like you want to be able to have not just like one outlet, but multiple outlets that you can go to. Because theoretically, if you get injured, right, and you can't go to the gym, what's going to be your next form of outlet, right? You don't know. You don't have that extra form. So it's like finding different outlets and finding like, different healthy habits to build upon that to, not have all your eggs just in one basket. Cause what if that basket breaks? You don't have anything else to fall on, right? Stress can go like super unchecked, especially if, you're not just like putting all your eggs in like separate baskets. Like it can affect your sleep, your relationships, your physical health, your work life, like so many different things. So just like making sure like, I got an egg in this basket, just in case. So like I like how you play a role into playing music and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit more than just the gym. But I mean, and especially, circling all that to back to bodybuilding prep. My mental in my last bodybuilding prep wasn't the best because I made the gym my entire life. And so I kind of wish I would have had you whispering in my ear the last prep what you just said. It is so important to not have all your eggs in one basket. But in bodybuilding, it's kind of hard because that's kind of what you have to do. But I think that adding on small things can definitely help. Like when I was super deep in prep, I hardly ever picked up the guitar. Now that I'm kind of out of it, I've kind of started playing a little bit more again, and that's definitely helped my mental. But just that goes to say, like, find your outlets and stick to them. When things get hard, stick to your outlets for one. But then, I mean, the bigger elephant in the room is to just like find your people too. And I think that we could definitely talk a lot on that. And just choosing the people you surround yourself with is a very, very, very big thing. And
All
that's
right.
something that I am very, very picky about. I'm very picky with who I surround myself and who I let in my circle and let in my life because you are a direct representation of the people that you surround yourself with. I'm sure people listening have heard that a million times, but I cannot preach that enough. So, yeah, like find like minded people, find people that align with your goals, align with your values. And as hard as this might sound, be picky with the people that are currently in your life. And if they don't align with your values and they don't align with who you want to become in the future, you might really want to sit down and really consider how much that relationship plays a role in your life. Thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
No. No, I think that's good. And what I like to do and my girlfriend, she messes with me a lot for doing this, but I always write out in my journal a pros and cons list to whatever decision I'm trying to make. And what I highly recommend to anybody who's listening to this is make a pros and cons list of your closest friends. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult, but honestly, it's going to be super beneficial because you're going to see how either the pros heavily outweigh the cons or vice versa. And that will be a determining factor of whether or not they should stay or go. And I did that. And when I used to live up in Connecticut, I said goodbye to some of the friends that I've built relationships with for, I mean, my entire life. And yes, it sucks in the moment, but once that is over with, it's like a relief because it's like they're no longer dragging you down with them.
You can just focus on growing and finding people that align with you. And
Exactly.
I mean, easier said than done, but I'm definitely somebody that will preach. Like, I would much rather have one or two friends that back me no matter what. They align with my goals. They help me not only see, like, they help me see the future version of me and push me in that direction. And I would much rather have one or two friends like that than 100 friends that are quote unquote fake friends and just pull me backwards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because right when it gets tough, are they gonna be there? Like, I always like to put it this way. If you need an emergency at 2 in the morning and it's like, would you trust that person? Would you call them, right? If the answer is no, it's like, all right, maybe you should reevaluate, you know?
mhm.
And, this is I forgot where I heard this, but, I remember someone saying, like, "Some people are just meant for chapters in your book," and that is, like, so real because not everyone's meant to last from the first chapter to the last chapter. Like, there's people that are meant for just chapters 1 through 10 or just one single chapter in your life. So, they're not always meant to last forever.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I mean, again, tying fitness into this, a bodybuilding prep really reveals who's your real friends and who are your fake friends. Honestly, like if you are somebody who likes personal development and you're very focused on trying to build the best version of you, I would say do a bodybuilding prep because in that you're going to learn who's really there for you, who really supports your goals, who's a real friend and who is really just holding you back. And that's one of the best and hardest parts of a bodybuilding prep, honestly, is it just shows you who your real friends are.
Yeah, I definitely think tying into that too is like, dude, because when you're going out to, because I've done this a few times where I go out to eat or whatever with a few of my friends because I still want to hang out with them. Just because I'm not eating the food, it doesn't mean we can't hang out, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's been a few times, like, when I did my first show where they didn't even want to hang out with me because I'm not eating the same food as them. And it's like,
Isn't that dumb?
isn't that
Isn't that
like
dumb? Like,
what?
if I'm gonna sit, like at least, like if I bring my beef and rice to dinner, you're gonna not. That's where it
It's
gets
just
hard, and it
yeah,
is, and it is hard from their perspective too, right? Because you are so locked in. Like essentially, you're doing all the things that they know they should be doing, but they're not. So you being there is almost like a burden. But I don't think that that's yeah. I think
at the
a
end of the
good
day
friend would
though,
encourage you.
yeah, at the end of the day, you're showing up when you technically don't have to, but you're going out of your way to pack that meal, make it get it ready and show up even when like cuz you're going to be hurting. You're going to be eating chicken, broccoli and rice or god knows what at a dinner table while they're enjoying quesadillas, they got ice cream, whatever, right in front of them and you
Mhm.
can't even eat that. So like at the same time,
Yep.
you're suffering way more than they will be
Yeah.
suffering over this,
Yeah.
you know?
Not to mention, like, bringing alcohol into the picture too. Yeah, like, surround yourself with people that encourage like, for me, for example, I don't drink alcohol, like, at all. Last time I took a shot was with Ant right before a show to help him dry out. That was it. And I don't like surrounding myself with people. If you drink, cool. Don't push it on me though. I went out with some of my friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. One of them used to be my roommate, and I went out to dinner with them. I had a free meal. I was like, why not? I haven't seen you guys in a while. Let's catch up. And sat down with them. They instantly ordered drinks, and I was like, I'm okay, guys. I'm good with my Diet Coke here. And they're just like, no, man, like, come on, like, we're out. Like, you gotta drink with us. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
guys, like, it's cool. Like I don't really,
Yeah.
it's not really me. Just like, come on, man. Like, and just continuously,
Egging you on, yeah.
hey, man, like, come on, guys. Like, love those guys to death. But at the same time, like, the goals don't align. And I'm not saying that they can't be friends, but I'm just going to limit myself the amount of time that I spend with them.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm actually going to relate this to our relationship. And it's like, I want to see your business grow just as much as mine. And it gets to a point where it's like, I see a reel and I know it's so good that I have to send it to Nick to do it because I know like he's going to get a lot of engagement from it. And it's like, you want to have a relationship like that where it's like, not only like, do you want to be successful, but you want your best friends to be like successful too. And you're going to do whatever you can to make sure that they are successful, right? Like the worst kind of friend is to have someone who like gets jealous or envious of your success, And it's like, why are you my friend in the first place?
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So I don't know.
completely agree. Completely agree. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that do that.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, I
No.
mean, I think a lot of people like in the same, like say you and me, for example, again, we're both coaches looking at life through a different lens. You could say we're competitors, right? We're both in the same niche. We both we both, but like at the same time, we're also friends. There's a big enough market for both of us. We can be on the same team, hence the dialed podcast, right? So Yeah, life is just kinda like what you make it, it's what you look at it, and it's surrounding yourself with positive people that really genuinely, truly, like, want you to grow and be able to become the absolute best version of yourself. For me, what I that's exactly what I define a good friend as, like, somebody who can see honestly, somebody that not just sees you, but treats you like the person that you are like, trying to become, right? Say you have that future ideal, perfect version of you in the future, the person that's bringing in 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K a month, has super great relationships, super great mental health. Essentially, I think a good friend treats you as that person that's already making 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K a month already, right? I like to use this analogy. For example, say that you want to grow on Instagram, right? And you have 1,000 followers and you want to be an influencer. You want to have 100,000, you want to have 500,000, you want to have 1,000,000 followers, right? How do you get 1,000,000 followers? Well, first things first, you need to shift your mindset. You need to stop thinking like, man, how do I get to 1,000,000 followers? Like, what do I need to post to get to 1,000,000 followers? But instead think, if I had 1,000,000 followers, what would I post? And so I think the same thing applies to friendships, right? If you only have 1,000 followers, but you're posting content that somebody who has 1,000,000 followers would post, it's just a matter of time before you get there, right? So in the same thing, in the same way it applies to relationships and friendships, right? I want my friends to treat me, even if I have 1,000 followers, I want my friends to treat me like the person who already has 1,000,000 followers. Because if you can have friends like that, there's no way that you can't get to where you want to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, drop the mic on that. That was beautiful.
Thanks. I like that analogy.
Yeah, that was really good, man. Yeah, it's very very easy to be soaked in to how they say like the rat race, right? Like the work,
Yeah.
the 9 to 5. The same thing can apply to being in a group of friends who just like dumb you down to their level in a sense, Even though you're meant for greater, it's still like they're dumbing you down to their level because that's where they're at, so they want you to be there with them too. So it's like, coming to recognition of like I'm built for I'm built for more. I'm built for better than this, right? It's like coming to that realization that's going to get you out of that rut that you may be in. Because I know that there's a lot of guys that may be listening to this who could be feeling like they're in a rut, like they're stuck, and it's like you may have to realize like you're built for better. You know?
Yeah. You're built to be different than, the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah. Just because
There's
you're in a friend group with those guys doesn't mean you're meant to be with them forever, right?
no, yeah, it doesn't mean you're meant to be with them forever, and it doesn't mean that you can't break away. And if you're thinking of doing something bigger, something different, something that they're not doing, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be afraid to chase that.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you are somebody who is in that position, somebody who is in a friend group with people that just don't align with your values, like it's probably in the back of your head. You probably know, like, I love these guys, but it's so hard being around them. I can't stick to anything. Like I can't do bodybuilding because they just encourage me to drink. Like if you're in one of those friendships, it's hard, but just know like it's worth it to take the jump and invest into your future self and invest into people that are going to invest into you, I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think also, finding good good outlets because there can be because I know we previously talked about like bad outlets. It's like finding a good outlet, right? Because for a prime example, it's like you can drink your whole life away and smoke pot every single night and just like I don't know, get so numb to the feeling of depression and anxiety. Or you can do the other side of the rainbow and focus on personal growth, like going to the gym, journaling, reading, like building up those healthy habits to become the man that you want to become, not the man who you think you are. Because no one's destined to just be a bum on a log, right? Everyone, in my opinion, everyone is destined for greatness. I know it sounds like super cliche, but I feel like everyone is destined for that, but it's up to them to take that leap.
Tearing up. That was beautiful. I
You
really
can't steal my line.
I really like that, bro. I really like that. It really is just it's an identity shift at the end of the day. And it's just coming back to my analogy, like think of yourself as somebody who already has 1,000,000 followers. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Let's kind of circle back to the men's mental health. I mean, not that we're not talking about it, but why do you feel like men don't reach out? What's wrong with society to the point where if a guy is struggling and going through something, they think I'm just going to do it by myself. I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I'm okay. Like I can figure this out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love my dad like so much, but growing up, the way that I was taught is just tough it up. And the way that like he made me envision his childhood was he grew up like the Terminator, like nothing affected him. He grew up like he got beat with a belt and he just like walked it off. And it was like it's one of those things where it's like my dad made me like think that he was built as a superhero when in reality my dad was probably going through so many mental health battles that like maybe he didn't even know about, right? So it's like growing up, like I always thought like yeah, you got to be this tough dude who just, bottles everything up, soaks it all in and just like doesn't talk about it. When in reality it's like that's the number one thing that you should be doing. Finding community, finding just like people to surround yourself with and to talk to. Like I don't know, like if you have a girlfriend, it's like it's okay to talk to your girlfriend about your feelings. It's like not the end of the world. If anything, if she doesn't accept your feelings, it's like, all right, well, I mean, she's probably not good to be around, if
Might need to
anything.
find a new girlfriend. Yeah.
Might need to find a new girlfriend, exactly. So I think like finding good outlets, like for me, for an example, and I'll give a prime example is like I found a men's discipleship, and this started the end of last year, and it lasted a few months, and then I actually ended up becoming a leader in the new discipleship group, which it's not even like really digging deep into the Bible. It's literally just like showing up and just talking about how us men are struggling with mental health battles. It's like, it's not a bad thing. It's just like finding community because everyone is going through something, but it's up to you to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And also just like I hate to keep nagging this up, but like real friends are gonna listen to you when you're struggling. Like you should be able to go to like you like a real friend like I vividly remember growing up, I had friends that were not real friends. I just that they were just friends so that we could look more popular at school kind of thing, you know? And there's absolutely no way that they actually really gave a shit about me at the end of the day. And if I tried to spill my feelings, I would just get made fun of. Those are not your real friends. If you have people like that, if you're just thinking that's what friends, those are not friends. So if you're in a relationship like that, here's your sign to get out of there. But real friends will, if you're struggling, they'll listen to you. You know, they care. They want what's best for you at the end of the day. Like if you need to get a little bit sappy, you need to talk about your feelings. You're like you're going through a hard time. Like you need to find friends that like you can lean on in times like that, that you can trust to share things like that with. And I think that as a society, as us dudes in general, we're getting better at being able to open up to each other really, but I think that we're still a long way from perfect. And I think it's such a struggle because at the end of the day, like we as men are just it's ingrained in our brain, in our brain that, you know, if you're going through a hard time, just got to tough it up. You know, you just got to suck it up, power through it. You'll be fine. Like, don't cry about it. Like, you're a dude. Like, man up. You got to be the man of the house. Like, you can't complain about it because you're a man. Things like that really, I think, screw our society when it comes to men's mental health. And like that alone is probably what leads to such a big statistic of men taking their own lives every year.
Yeah. Yeah, losing brothers. And to be completely frank too, it's like even if you're not like not to say everyone listening to this podcast is going through something, but like even if you're not going through something doesn't mean one of your friends isn't. So that doesn't mean like you shouldn't reach out. Like even if your friend is like super happy, usually the happiest people are like the ones with, something going on in the back end. So like just check up on your friends. Like that's huge. That's massive. Is just check up on your friends, even the ones that you think are doing okay. You never know. You never know. And
One thing that I like doing is if I'm ever just chilling, right? And I'm doing something that reminds me of somebody, even if I haven't talked to him like a few years or whatever. And, you know, you're like, hey, man, that really reminds me of Jake that I used to be friends with. Shoot him a text. Be like, hey, man, I was just doing this and I thought of you. You doing okay? Like, what's up, bro? Like, just want to check in on you. And like, just those words alone, like, hey, was just thinking of you as a dude to a dude. Like,
yeah.
I would blush.
Like whenever someone like man, it's a prime example. You just brought this up. It's like whenever guy gets a compliment, they hold on to it like it's money, right? It's like, dude, I just got a piece of gold. Like I'm gonna put that in my pocket, right? Like someone compliments your biceps, like yeah, I'm gonna think about that for like 2 weeks. It's like cool. So like a guy checking up on another guy is like, oh wow, he's thinking of me. Like guys hold on to compliments for a long time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
They really
that's a
do. I feel like women get complimented a lot, but I don't like, it's very, very rare for a guy to get a compliment, and it goes such a long way. Really, it does. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge, man. I mean, tying back into why men don't reach out. I mean, for me personally, I got kind of scared when I went to therapy one time, and then this lady was like, and I was like 17, because at the time I was just like, I was kind of just going through it a little mentally, and I was like, I was going to drugs and alcohol for like my outlets, and I was like, this just probably isn't it. And then so I went to therapy to see like if I could get some answers, and if anything, I just got more questions. And it was just like one of those things where it's like you don't always need therapy. You don't always need like some expert in some field to find out what's wrong with you. Sometimes all you need is just a friend. Sometimes all you need is just a little outlet here and there. It's like you don't always need some expert to tell you like take a pill or read a book or something like that. You don't need that at all.
And I think that that's what a good friend should be for. All right, we want to circle back to the gym and just kind of
Yeah.
talk about how, I mean, we're talking about outlets, but we didn't talk about the most obvious outlet, the gym,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Kind of
Dude,
like you went around the bush a little bit on that. Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about everything but the gym. Yeah, dude. Like I remember when I was really struggling with my mental health. One of the biggest things that broke me out of it was like playing music was cool and all, but when I got in the gym, that is what completely changed my life around, and that is a big reason like why I do what I do today, like coach people, you know, be somebody who can lead people in the fitness industry because the gym completely changed my life. Like I went from this like nobody, skinny like kid that everybody would look down on and pick on and was socially awkward to somebody who was confident in myself, somebody who knew what he was doing and what he wanted out of life. And like none of that would have happened if I didn't get in the gym. And I just with my coaching, what I strive to do is try to give back almost. Like I feel like the gym taught me so much and gave me so much in my life. And in a sense, I just want to try to give that back to other people and try to encourage them and try to help give them the same transformation, not just physically, but mentally that I had from, fitness. And it's just, yeah. All right, you go.
No, dude, I'm hyping you up, man. I'm fully on board because we coach I wouldn't say we coach the same exact way, but the methodology behind the madness is the same, right? It's like you want to talk to your younger self. You want to be able to essentially save years off your life or someone else's life trying to figure it out when you know you don't know the answer, but you know what worked for you, so you can actually give some feedback off of what's worked for you, right? Not everything is going to work the same for someone else who may be going through something similar, but you can offer your own experience. And that's honestly like the beautiful thing about coaching is you get to just like not only soak in so much new information, but also be able to give it out too, right? You're like a sponge. A coach is like a sponge, right? They just soak up all this water. And then, when you squeeze a sponge that's full of water, it just goes, it just spreads, right? And that's you as a coach spreading all your knowledge and your expertise and just like what you know in the field to other people like your clients. So that's the beautiful part about coaching and why I personally fell in love with it is because I can just be like, hey, like I had an hour and a half long conversation with a client last night about like men's mental health. And it's like it's okay because like everyone goes through these different things in life and it's like this is what a coach's responsibility is. It's about guiding someone else through those troubling times so they don't have to figure it out on their own. That's why you're there, right? So, I mean, dude, fully on board with what you got to say.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it, dude. And even just, looking at my guys and all the lives that I've kind of helped transform, the transformations in specific, losing weight is great. I love, helping guys lose 60, 50, for even just like 20 pounds, right? More so, the transformations that make me that put the biggest smile on my face is the guys that come to me afterwards after dropping a bunch of weight and not saying, I feel better because I'm not fat anymore, but saying, I feel more confident. People look at me differently. People don't look down on me now, they look up at me. And like it's those transformations, like those words that made me fall in love with coaching. And that was the life mission all along, bro. From the moment that I got in the gym to becoming a personal trainer to then becoming a coach. That's why I did it all, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, if you I mean, I don't know. If I feel like almost as if it's like if you're looking for a coach, you almost want to look for somebody who not only you want to be in the shoes for, but also somebody who may have gone through a similar experience that you have, right? So like I don't know, like I've had a few guys come to me who are like, "Yeah, I just resonate with your story," right? And it's like, cool. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, I think that's really awesome is just, like, finding people who resonate with you and your experiences because you can just relate on it on a such a deeper level, so
That's definitely important. Find a coach that's real. Find somebody that you can relate with. Find somebody who you can see not just being like, obviously, there's a fine line between a coach and a friend, but
yeah.
a good coach kind of finds the balance.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Just don't call me at 2 AM, I won't call you at 2 AM. Easy.
Yeah, deal.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's unwritten rule. But yeah, what else do you feel like really helps? Say somebody is struggling with mental health. We've talked about reaching out to people, being open to reaching out, people kind of redefining who you surround
Honestly,
yourself
it's
with. But
finding your passion. I talked to Felicity about this a few days ago. It's like finding whatever you're passionate about and like gas, like put it in the car and then put your foot on the pedal and just go because you only live one life. And for you to halt your entire life based off the fact that you're scared of what other people may perceive of you, no, don't do it. I'm telling you firsthand, don't do it. For 4 years, I worked as a cop, and I lived, like, the most miserable, mundane, midnight shift life, just like, watching other people enjoy their life, and then the moment when I reached full fulfillment in my life is when I took control, and that's what I gotta say to anybody who's listening to this is, like, the moment that you take control of your own life and not have someone else write your own story for you is when you're going to find the most fulfillment and purpose, and that's what's going to drive you out of your rut, whatever it may be. That's what helped me with my rut, and I just felt so much more motivated to live every single day of my life and fulfill it to the most that I can. So
yeah, yeah. And to rephrase that, that's actually something I come around to and I think about a lot in my life. It helps me keep pushing. Find your purpose.
sorry.
Don't just find something that makes money, something that pays the bills, but instead, I feel like what leads a really truly fulfilled life, I think that's the word you used was fulfilled,
Yeah.
but is finding something that you genuinely enjoy doing, even if you don't make as much money. Me
Hmm.
and my girlfriend were talking about this literally yesterday. We don't make a buku amount of money. All right. Coaching doesn't pay as much as some people think it does. There are some very high ballers in this industry. But I wouldn't say we make a ton of money, right? But we live decently well. And I think I told her, I was like, we may not be rich in money, but we are rich in life. We are rich in our relationship with each other. We are rich with the job that we get to do. Like I literally like my job is literally just helping people like transform themselves. And it's the most rewarding job in the world and I love it so much. Like it's something that I'm so passionate about and it's something that aligns with my purpose. Like I'm actively changing people's lives on a daily basis. That makes me feel so good. Like and I think that that's my purpose and I would encourage anybody who is listening to this is like try to find your purpose, If you're in sales for example, right? And you're selling something that you really don't give a shit about, maybe look into finding a new job. You can stay in the sales, like you have those skills, but sell something that you're truly passionate about. Something that people don't like to sell. Like,
Health insurance.
yeah, I was gonna say health insurance. I just didn't want to get my toes stepped on. But say you're selling health insurance, and you move from selling health insurance to selling like homes for people, and you're helping people into their dream homes, and you're putting smiles on people's faces. You're helping them get the best deal that they can get. Like that's your purpose, right? You're enjoying that. That's bringing fulfillment to your life. Chase that at the end of the day, even if you don't make as much money on paper. it's worth it for your mental, for your mindset. It's just your quality of life. Can't preach that enough.
Yeah. No, I think that's great, and it's okay to not have it figured out too. Not
Yes.
everyone's gonna be a fitness coach, not everyone's going to, get into sales and stuff, and it's okay to not have your life figured out. I mean, I genuinely, like, even though I feel like I do, I don't know. It's like you never really know, like, what's gonna happen down the line. You never know what passion you're gonna fall in love with. It's like, so just like take every day to consider what your future can look like and then build it out for yourself, right? It doesn't all have to, and this is the biggest thing too, is it's not gonna be an overnight success as well, right? And that's the hardest part, is like sticking through it when it gets tough. And that's when most people quit, when it does get tough, because they give up. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But no, like, if this is truly your passion, you're gonna stick it through.
It's the moment that makes or breaks you.
No, for sure.
So, yeah, and then also, I mean, talking in the mindset thing more, like, just keeping the mindset of, like, this is your life. You can do whatever the fuck you want, really. Sure, like, if you don't like what you're doing, quit. Figure it out. Like, work DoorDash for a couple of weeks to pay your bills if you need to figure things out. But like, I truly believe, like, in this life, you can do anything that you set your mind to. Like, if you want to be an astronaut, go be an astronaut. If you want to be the president of the United States, go be the president of the United States. It's going to take you a little bit, but like, you can go and do that. Like, the door is open. All you got to do is just, like, the door is there. All you just got to do is open it.
Mhm,
Like, I think so many people get stuck in their ways and they get comfortable in life, and I think being comfortable is the absolute worst position you can ever be in. Being comfortable is where people's dreams and fulfillment dies.
mhm.
What do you think
Yeah.
about that? Do you
No,
agree
I
or am I
think,
crazy?
no, there was a quote that I'm trying to remember about comfortability. It's like, man, I'm trying to think about it, but it's like comfortability causes, it's like just the same, right? And if you want something different and you're just comfortable, but you want something different, something has to change. There has to be a wrench thrown in somewhere that's going to throw your whole life upside down, and you just have to accept it, right? Like, I mean, like my first month, like leaving my cop job, I made like a grand, So it's like you're gonna go through uncomfortable times where you just feel down. You feel like you're just getting beat up over and over and over and over again. And truly, it's like going back into what we were talking about previously. It's having like good friends. It's having family members to surround yourself with. It's having just like peace within yourself to know, like, you will be okay. You'll make it through this time. You need to have resilience, right? And that's what I also wanted to name my coaching brand, is resilience too, because I think it's just an awesome word. But like, resilience is like going through these tough times, knowing like no matter what, I'm not going to give up, because this is my goal and this is my dream. So just be resilient. If you take anything from this podcast, in my personal opinion, it's to be resilient and be the strongest version of yourself. Because I don't know about you, but if you want kids in the future, it's like you're going to want to be a direct representation of what you want your kid to be, right? Like, I want my kid to think my dad's a superhero. He's strong. He's like, this, that, and the other. And it's like, I want my kid to see that within myself. So I need to therefore be that, right?
There's no better motivation than that.
Yeah.
Be the man that you want your kid to be. Set the standards, set the example, be the role model, be that person. Don't just act like that person, be that person. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's everything that I really want to hit on for this
Yeah.
episode, bro.
No, I mean, this was honestly a really good one, and I know it was a highly requested one, at least from myself. So if you guys do have any requests, please hit us up on Instagram. My username is coach_Beretta, Beretta. And then Nick, if you want to throw in your plug.
Yeah, my Instagram's Nick McElhenney at NickMcElhinny. For now, I might change it to Coach Nick. We'll see. I'm thinking about it.
I like it.
Ant's trying to get me to go that way. We'll see. It's still a long name, man. Coach Nick McElhenney. That's so long.
Maybe just Coach Nick.
That's probably taken.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
Yeah.
Throw in an
Yeah.
asterisk or something.
Yeah. Sure. Something like that. Underscore, double underscore. I don't know. Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. We love all you guys. If nobody has told you that, people care about you. People are there for you. Just lean on them. So, yeah. All right. That's all I got. And got any last words?
Nope, just remember that, reaching out is strength. It's not weakness. So, don't always just think like, "All right, if I'm reaching out to somebody, it's just a sign of weakness." No, it's honestly a sign of strength because you're putting it out there for people to accept you as. And if they're not accepting you, honestly, just go to someone else. Okay? Just because someone's not accepting you for who you are does not mean someone else will not accept you. So, you're always accepted, at least in our eyes. So, we love you guys just as much. So,
Awesome. All right. I'm going to end it on that note. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see y'all in the next one.
peace.
Peace.